Morning, guys. A little cloudy. Nice day though. 57, I think. There's the beast. I've been driving that bad boy. It's leaking oil all over the damn place, so it looks like. It's just gonna have to be what it is. Oh, can't get in this way. I'll bring it back in a second. Alright guys, here's what I'm dealing with on this hood. And I don't know why. I spent probably, I was out here till 11 o'clock, 11:30 last night trying to adjust this with my daughter's boyfriend helping me. And you can see here, and I'm not even concerned about trying to get 3/16 gaps. I just want them to be even. But you can see here how wide that is in the front. And then as you come back, as you come back, it fits, and then right here it stops, it gets tight. So then back here, it won't even go in. Okay, so it's smaller here. Well, here on this side, this gap actually looks pretty decent, pretty nice. Comes in and actually does pretty well. It's a little tighter here in the center in a couple of spots. If I hold the camera right. But back here, it's about really where it needs to be. And so this gap in the front is perfect. This gap in the back is perfect, which means this is pretty much parallel. If you look down through there, it's really, really nice. If the other side was that nice, I'd be happy as I could be. The fronts, same deal. Pretty nice fit here, and pretty nice fit there. So this whole side of the hood is good. But you get over here, and you got it tight in the back and huge in the front. And I'm like, all right. So, and here's another deal. I've got this lined up, and you can see that's pretty damn close. It may be off that direction just a touch, but it's not gonna make up for that. And of course, if I come this way some, it's gonna mess that gap up, which right now where I'm at with it, I've tried to split this gap from that side and make this come this way more. So I took all the guts out from under here. Well, you can see up there on the deal, I took the striker out. I'm gonna take this piece here out and widen up those holes so I have some adjustability. Because when it shuts right now, it wants to kick it off to one side. So obviously it needs, it needs to just drop in there nice and smooth, kind of like the way the door's shut. So I'm gonna keep messing with this, but like I said, that gap there, other than this smash spot right there, which I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but anyway, is almost perfect. It's really nice. And now I can see right there in the center where it got tight. It's because the fender smashed a little bit and pushed in right there, which I could probably take my spoon and a hammer and kind of tap that back out in that spot. But anyway, I'm afraid what's going on, or what's going to have to happen to get this right, since the back gap back there is really the way it needs to be. This front fender needs to come in this way. Well, the only way I can do that is if I split this panel. Alright guys, so you can see the front upper valance is off. These gaps are about as perfect. Actually, they're probably a little tighter than 3/16. But yeah, you can see there, I've got it in. What I did was I took that front valance off and then took that, pulled these two together, sucked it in where I wanted them, tightened the bolts down, and so yeah. And these are actually tighter than 3/16. That doesn't actually fit down in there, which is fine. It looks really nice. Didn't mess this up at all. Didn't do anything to it. It actually just flexed the front just a little bit in. I mean, like literally a tiny bit. I think it was right at 250 thousandths gaps, a 1/4 inch gap. And I pulled it back in now to where it's probably closer to 150 thousandths gap. But it's lined up nice. This side, same way, almost perfect with each other. And so I really like that. And I think with paint and primer paint and everything else, it should still be fine. It doesn't have to go past each other like a door hinge would. And so that tight gap will look real nice, I think. Here's the only issue. Just when I thought I was done splitting panels, I'm not, because I can't put that back in there now. It's too tight. So which means I'm gonna have to measure across here from here to this side in several places and figure out how much I'm gonna take off that to get that to fit back in there. And it's gonna have to be like right on the money, the measurement. So I'll have to measure it 3 or 4 times and make sure everything is just right before I start cutting that apart. All right, so trying to modify the underneath side of this did not work for me. I don't think it gave me much at all. So I still have this lined up where it needs to be. This side here is pretty good size. It's actually 75 thousandths wider than the other side, so to give you an idea. So this fender has to come in 75 thousandths this direction, okay, which means I've got to cut 75 thousandths out of this. Okay, well here's the kicker. If I just went in here and cut 75 thousandths out of this and moved this fender in, it messes this up, because right now you can see I put a line there. The upper valance is actually that direction a little bit, so I'm actually probably going to have to split both sides of this panel, because I'm going to have to come to get this perfectly lined up like it needs to be. I'm going to have to split this side and move it over just enough to line that up perfect, then come back to this side and split it and take the rest out. This may be, 25 thousandths or less, and I'll have to take another 50 thousandths out of this side to get that to line up like it needs to. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now, and that's to get the gaps exactly where I want them. So that'll be about it. I mean, I'm at the point of no return at this right now. I mean, it either works or it doesn't, and I hate it, but I'm gonna have to splice another panel, and this one's really I have to cut it just perfect to get this line to line up exactly like it needs to with the rest of the hood. So I said that's so you probably might not even be able to tell. You might tell a little bit, but it's just really slight. But I can still tell from here just a little bit. But regardless, that's not. It's really all about getting this one here to come in farther. So, and like I said, I did as much modifying as I could under here, trying to get that to squeeze in. Now I've got the bolts back in it, tightened all the way back down, and I still have a 75 thousandths difference between this one and the other side. So, fun. This is going to be tough. But I'm always up for a challenge, so we'll give her a shot. I'm gonna take this back apart and get to taking 75 thousandths out. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll probably just split this side first with a real, matter of fact, I've already got a wheel up there that's about 50 thousandths. I'll split it, and then I'll mock this center piece up to where I want it, and then I'll bolt this back underneath here, get this set up to where I want it, where it's sitting back in there with this right and that right. Then I'll come back over here and figure out how much I need to take off this side. That's the best way I can think to do this. Just trying to measure it all out and do the math in my, you know what I mean? It's just, that's gonna be, I've done that before, and sometimes it comes out right, and sometimes it comes out wrong. You're like, what did I cut off too much, or what did I cut, you know, didn't cut off enough, or whatever. So I'd rather have it in here to where I can actually see my results. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. See ya. Hey guys, so it's too late to turn back now. I use this as about 60 thousandths thick, basically. It's really thin. And then I actually cut it, measured, and it's actually 70 thousandths, so 10 thousandths is not too bad, but that'll be enough to where I can move this to line this up where I need it and still have a little bit of weld room, because you don't want that butted right up against each other. You want a little bit of a gap. So I think that'll work out good. Once I get it in there, I'll see and adjust accordingly. And then I still have to cut this side, and I'll cut it. I'll tell you why I cut this where I did. Just looking at it, I thought this thing flaps over here and it's all welded together and everything, and it's got another little brace right back in here. And I thought if I run through that, I'm gonna end up having to mess with all this. So I just completely left that side alone. Went a little farther out here, probably 1.5 inches or so out, to where there's nothing that, you know, there's no welds or anything I'm gonna hit. So it'll just make it right in the middle of the panel, basically. And the good thing about this panel is once I weld this, I'll be able to see my penetration. I can grind these down and grind the back side and planish this out to where it doesn't have as much of a, what am I trying to say? Anytime you weld something, it kind of shrinks a little bit. Well, you can actually hammer and dolly that shrinkage back out to an extent. I think for the most part, you can get most of it out. And so that's what I'll try to do once I get this all welded up. But I think, like I said, I'm going to put this on the car and bolt these down exactly where I want it, get my gaps lined up where I want them, and then measure out how much more I need to cut off of that end. That way it's exactly precise. There won't be any surprises. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hack the rest of the end of this off, and I'm going to get it put over there on the car and then kind of start going from there. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, here's what I've got. You can see there, I got that lined up pretty much perfect. What I had to do is cut both sides. I've got these, everything's bolted down. The center's bolted down. This is bolted into here. And you see I've got to where I can weld it back together. 3/16 here. Really nice through here. Same on this, and then 3/16 there. So it took some work, but I got it. I think it'll be worth the work. I mean, yeah, pain in the butt to slice that apart and have to re-weld it back together, but you know what? It'll go along with the rest of it, you know. I just couldn't have that big gap on that side. And there didn't seem to be a whole lot of other options for me. So that's gonna do it. I gotta get in there and put some tacks in to hold that where it is. But yeah, that'll be it. Hopefully I can seam that up real nice and planish it down to where I don't have to hardly do any, you know, filler work there. And I think that's gonna be fairly easy because I can get to the back of it, so I don't see any problems at all with that. But, yep, looks pretty good. That's probably all I'll do for this evening. It's 8:30, almost 8:15, and it's Christmas Eve. So, not that that's, you know, I mean, we're just hanging out, so. But, yep. One more look there. Kind of see, got her lined up nice. All right, one more shot. I got it tacked in, and that's where I'm quitting for tonight. There you go. All right, see you guys.